Hello and welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast, the Euro version, and it's election results day. If you don't understand what's going on, and with all the percentages, I don't either. And there's a pill for it, and it's called electile dysfunction, I believe. I think. Anyway, moving on. Today we have the queen of meatball pizzas. It's Evie. How are we, Evie?
Ever so good, ever so good. How are you?
I'm jolly. I am jolly, like Santa himself, without the beard. I've got the chins for it, but not the beard. James, how are we, mate? How's the internet this week?
Still shit, but yeah, I'm devastated, mate. I'm sad. I'm a sad man this week. Sad man.
I can imagine. We'll get into that. Currently, if you are watching, please do like and subscribe. It helps us get out there a bit more. And if you're not watching the Spain-Germany game, Spain are winning 2-1 in extra time, and there's about 3 minutes to go. So, which I'm gutted about because, as I just said off air, I have Germany in the sweepstakes, so I am absolutely fuming. Scheiße. Right then, let's get into the internationals on the England side. Evie, how do you feel like England have played this tournament? Apart from, use colourful language if you want.
Have
They
we
haven't.
actually
Sorry.
played? We've been abysmal. It's been awful. I think there's, funerals that I've been more entertained at than watching England. So yeah,
Brutal.
Southgate out. He just, there's a real issue when he's making Jesse Marsh look like he potentially knows what he's doing. There's an issue there. And
Yeah.
we're awful. We're so boring. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I think this Euros has been probably one of the most entertaining ones, especially like the kind of unexpected teams like Georgia. I watched all of Georgia's games. Obviously, I know they got knocked out by Spain, but like you said, Spain it's gone full time. Oh no, it's not gone full time yet.
They're about to win it though, aren't they?
They're about to win it. So, that's fair enough, and they'll probably go on and win the whole thing. But England have just been an utter bore. And it made me so angry watching players that I usually love watching in the Premier League and in other divisions. Only Southgate could make that team into such a turgid game. But he's done it. It's actually quite impressive if you think about it. Like, he's done the impossible, which is make a bunch of incredibly talented, entertaining players very, very dull.
Yeah, it seems like it's very, like you say, turgid, rubbish, negative. But are we over scrutinising there though, James? Are we, because he has got to a final, a semi-final, and a quarter-final, I believe, in the past 3 tournaments.
Yeah, I think it's just there's been no evolution in his game, has it? It started off pretty good when he had Calvin in there, pulling the strings for him. Now, but we haven't sort of evolved from that initial, and he seems to be stuck. Defensively, we seem okay, but there's no fluidity going forward at all. It's absolute dog shit.
Well, we've got Saka at left wing back now. I mean, you got probably one of the best attacking wingers, if he's a winger, inside forward, whatever you like to call it, playing left back because he took Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw's he's not even been fit all this tournament. Yeah, I know he's been in training this week, but bloody hell. Right.
You've got Gomez on the bench who's been playing left back for Liverpool. So why not just play Gomez? Like, there is a solution. You don't have to play Trippier, who hasn't been fantastic anyway, but is also a right back, and is incredibly right-footed. I don't know what they call being ambidextrous with your feet, but
ambidextrous.
He's very. Is it with your feet as well? Is it the same thing?
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just with your feet.
Yeah.
Ambidextrous.
Something.
Every day is a school day, Evie. Do you think Southgate is a bit Farker-esque with his subs?
At least Farker's a manager. At least Farker knows a thing called a tactic board.
You are with both barrels tonight, aren't you?
Oh, I just loathe him because I just think any of us could have got England to the finals and semi-finals that he's got us to. I don't think it takes an awful lot. They're professionals, they know how to play football, but it's like they don't know how to move a ball forwards. They'll play in triangles, and usually you play in triangles, somebody will move a bit, and then you play the next bit of the triangle, and then you move a bit. England literally are just static, passing the ball in a triangle without moving, and then they panic and pass back to Pickford. Pickford is the only player who knows how to pass the ball forwards. And if we had two goalkeepers, he'd pass it backwards as well. So, it's just absolutely farcical is Southgate. So I can't wait for him to go. I really hope. I know Man U have just signed, put Eric Ten Hag on a year extension, but I really hope that Southgate goes there.
I think this is his last tournament for us, and I'm happy about it. I think Potter will get it next. I would like to see Potter in there. With the attacking talent we've got in this team, the pool living in English, selection and that, I think we've got to win something in the next couple of years. Next few tournaments, at least with this. You've got Bellingham on the rise and all that, and you've got you've got Leif Davis. I think he is English, isn't he? Leif Davis representing England. I think he's going to excel.
Yeah.
Excuse me. James, let's talk about the Slovakia game, mate. I know it were absolutely pants. And we've got like literally the skin of our teeth for the last 30 seconds of the game, but it was rubbish, wasn't it?
Yeah. We've just talked about how shit it's been, and that game was no different, apart from Bellingham scoring an absolute beauty out of nowhere. Yeah, we scraped through, but it was a hard watch. It was going to sound really bad. I was almost hoping that we just got off. I was like, right, just get it over and done with, because I can't focus on the games because it's so bad. I'll focus on more when the other team have got the ball, because I think, oh, something might happen here. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard game to watch, Slovakia. Yeah, we scraped through.
I have been impressed with Matt Gahey this tournament. I think it was his flick on for this that we're talking about here. I mean, this in itself was a moment of excellence from Bellingham, and that
Tony,
just shows
wasn't it?
Oh no, it was Tony.
Didn't
Yeah,
Tony
sorry,
set them
right.
both up?
I'm sure. No, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tony
Anyway.
set Kane's up, I think. I'm not sure about.
Oh, did he?
That was it.
Oh.
No,
I thought he set them both. That's how much attention I was paying to it. I thought he did them both.
But I've been impressed with him. Obviously, he was suspended. He's suspended for this next game coming up. But I think I think Jude's knackered. We said this last week. I think Jude's knackered from the Real Madrid campaign. He's a European champion. With Real Madrid.
I think he's just taking too much on. I do. I think he's like, he's been the man for Real Madrid, and he's like, right, I'm going to do it for England as well, and he just doesn't need to. Doesn't need to.
Yeah, he's run out of energy, mate. Yeah. All game, in my opinion, he would knackered, lethargic. One moment of excellence, and it's all forgotten. But Evie Bellingham, hero.
He was put. But if he doesn't score that, the media are absolutely berating him for an abysmal performance. And to be honest,
that's true.
The first game, I thought he was brilliant in the tournament. Obviously, he got us the winning goal, and I just thought he was everywhere, and I thought he was excellent. But the following 3 games, 3.
Bit average,
we can call them games. We can call them games.
Yeah, I know.
Well, technically they are.
Technically, but no, I think barring that one moment of brilliance, he's been really bang average. And now I don't know whether that's the system or whether that's exhaustion. The fact that obviously he's played every kind of match going this season with Real Madrid, but yeah, he just wasn't great. I think he was getting incredibly frustrated, and to be honest, I feel that watching some of our best players in probably 2 generations really, just playing turgid football. Yeah, but he hasn't been great, and we do have this kind of tendency to hype up people as well, to the point where we've kind of hyped them up so much that they're on like a pedestal. And the problem is when you put somebody on a pedestal, the only place you can go is down. So we kind of set them up for failure by hyping them up to be this kind of, I don't know, inhuman footballing god type thing. And they can only disappoint. Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's just we create them up to be something that they're just, it's going to be impossible for them to live up to. And yeah, but he wasn't great, but you cannot take away from, I wish more players just kind of took the game by the scruff of the neck and just said, F you, Southgate, I'm going to win us this game kind of thing, because we have players that can do that. You know, I think unfortunately, you know, for as much as Harry Kane, I'd like Harry Kane, he's a yes man as well, in terms of he knows he's getting picked. So he just doesn't rock the boat because he knows that he's going to get picked. Whereas I think Bellingham has that kind of potential to rock the boat because he's so young and he is so talented. But yeah, I would hate to see these players play another tournament under Gareth Southgate.
Yeah, the thing is, like Harry Kane is one of the, for me, he's one of the best strikers in Europe right now. Yeah, he probably the world best, one of the best finishers. He's come off a great campaign with Bayern Munich. Somehow he's come out trophyless. That's the only. It's one of the, it's one of those.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's one of those legends and myths, isn't it? Like, it's cursed. Is it the only? I saw a meme where it said the only person to stop Man City winning the league, and it's Harry Kane in a Man City top. It's one of them. But the thing is, because he dropped so deep, there's no one running in behind him, because you know he can. If you go back to the Euro final that we were in with Italy, our goal came from Harry Kane dropping deep, looking out to the left, and I think it was Kyle Walker that put the cross in for Luke Shaw, who knocked it in. But anyway, let's get into this comment here. Zayn, my man. Lads, thoughts on Spain, Switzerland semi-final? Ooh, I'll ban you, mate. I swear, you know it's going to be England, mate. You know it's going to. Andy says here, the Bell-ingham goal was the first shot on target, 95th minute. Yeah, that's
he was saving it, weren't he? For I better do it now. It's getting on a bit.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's have a quick look at the tournament thing. So now we know that it's Switzerland, England, it's Netherlands, Turkey, it's Portugal and France are next. It's Spain versus the winner of.
We'll play. We've got a nice side, haven't we? Not.
Yeah, we've got a decent side. So it's between Portugal and France. Will play Spain or whoever it is. Right. I hadn't spoke to you for a while, Evie. Before this game tonight, did you have a winner for the Euros in mind?
I said Spain. From the get-go.
Of course you did. Of course,
I genuinely did.
Yeah.
I said Spain. I wanted. I really like Georgia, so I had like a proper soft spot for Georgia. But obviously they got kicked out by Spain, which is fair enough. But it's really bad when you find yourself rooting that if it ever became like a Georgia-England final, I genuinely would be rooting for Georgia because they play better football.
Yeah.
So
did you see the Ronaldo free kicks? I've actually got a photo. One of the satellites
he scored one, hasn't he? Taken 57 and he scored
one of the satellites picked it up.
That Earth's not flat.
Is it meeting Harry Kane's shot from the penalty from the 2022?
Yeah, it's actually replaced it in orbit and it's knocked it back down. And I think these VAR decisions are getting out of hand. I mean, look at this. It's against Lukaku, apparently. I don't know. It's right. So, do we, Evie?
Dick goal. You can score with your dick.
Oh, imagine that. Offside by penis. Right. So, Evie, do we progress against Switzerland? Do we go to the semi-finals?
My heart says yes.
But my body.
Every logical part of me says no.
Yeah, I
I kind
It's one of them, isn't it?
agree with like what James said earlier about the fact I just kind of want England out. Then I can enjoy it because I don't have to watch another 90 minutes of like crappy England Southgate ball. I think if some of the players take the initiative on by themselves instead of listening to Southgate, then I think we win. If everybody does as they're told, then I think we get knocked out.
So you're going for no then? You say no?
Nah, fuck it, it's coming home.
No.
I'll go
Yeah, there you go. There we go. There we go. What about you, James? Do you care?
Not particularly, but I honestly think Southgate's attack plan is to give it to Bellingham to let him do something. I think that's all his plan is anyway. But yeah, I agree. I think we're gonna beat them tomorrow. I'm gonna get behind them now. We're gonna do it.
It's coming home, mate. It's coming home. Zane, it's coming home.
It's coming home. It's always fucking coming home.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a nearly 2-1 to England again. I think, but the way that the Swiss played, I thought they were really good on attacking it. But if we show the same impetus we showed in pockets of that second half, I don't see why we can't. Go on, bring it home, bring it home. Yeah, right then. So let's go on to there's obviously loads of Leeds news coming out this week, and let's get on to the one that's going to make you cry, Evie. Little old Archie has joined Spurs. Archibald Gray Rasmus II has joined Spurs for 30 million cash plus road on in return. Now, let me just. Is the deal for you, Evie? Is that a good deal? Has it softened the blow for you? James, I'll come to you obviously next.
It was 40 million plus 10 million for Rodon, so that we got the 40 million. Yeah, it was 40 million for Gray. And
they
then
paid 40 million, and then we
10
paid 10 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. For PSR, we had to do
included.
That's the way we did
it.
No,
Jacobs.
It wasn't. It was a separate deal.
Well,
Ben's
Ben
talking out his
Jacobs
penis.
said.
Yeah.
A reputable journalist.
No.
Right, I'm gonna get this up. Tell me how you feel about it anyway, Evie, while I just prove you wrong.
Well, the 40 million that we got for Gray, I think, was a great deal. Obviously becomes the fourth most expensive 18-year-old in world football in history, which I think that is a great deal. And regardless, taking sentiment out of it, and I know it's difficult with him being Gray, but if you take the sentiment out of it, that's an incredible piece of business, because he's had one season in the Championship, one game against a Premier League side, and I think that it's probably what we needed, and it now means that if Somerville is to go, we are fully in the driving seat and can probably get more for him than we could have done had we have sold Somerville before the end of the financial window.
So I'm just trying to form this
emotionally
question in my brain.
I'm absolutely messed up, and I haven't unfollowed him, but I've muted him on all social media, so that, because I don't want to see him in a Spurs shirt. I don't want to see anything. Yeah,
well,
I don't want to
like that. You don't want to see that, is that what you're saying?
Fucking story's not even begun.
But yeah, I would never boo him. I would never do anything like that. I wish him well, but if he ever scores against us, then, that's just not on, really.
Right, this is what Ben Jacobs said. Spurs confirm Archie Gray has joined Leeds on a 6-year contract. Gray will wear number 14 shirt. Total package worth up to 40 million, with Joe Rodon going the other way. So that means that the total package is 30 for Archie.
No, Daniel. Let me explain. Technically, you're right. Yeah, we're 40. Take away 10 is 30. You're right. Your maths is spot on. But for PSR reasons, we took the 40 million so we could put it on our books. So we got more, and then because paying for stuff isn't a problem. It's, you know, and then we pay 10 million. So that's how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of the day, I don't care. We've got Joe Rodon back. No, but yeah. So well,
I
yeah.
don't
Thanks for
care.
saying that.
I care.
But I
mate.
mean, you're right. You're right in saying that if you take the emotion out of it, because he's a grey, and I think people are more upset about the potential and the ceiling that Archie Gray has got, which is massive
What if
in
he
my
get? What if he
opinion.
gets an injury? What if he,
That's the
a bit like the other
Lewis Cook.
year, John McGinn came in and annihilated him in that pre-season friendly in Australia, and he was out for almost a
Fucking
year.
for anybody now.
So, like, you know, if that happens, then, you know, he's not worth it. We don't get the money for him. We have to sell multiple players to get the same amount of money for Archie. And then we also we can't even play great, but we still probably have to replace him.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you're right. James, come on then. Lay it on. Oh, before I do that, I've seen Smarty's in
What have you seen?
the house. Hello there, Smarty. I have got.
Don't talk about Daniel and Evie like that. Smarty. It's out of order.
I've just got someone to show you. Let's see your rant now, because you can't. I'll ban you
just
from
broke
the
his screen.
I'll
He's
ban
punched
you.
it.
He's actually punched his screen. You should watch last week's Evie. He went mental.
It's just Albo
Anyway,
dropped his screen.
yeah. He's going to get me banned, that guy. Go on, James. Tell me. Obviously, we were talking in our WhatsApp
Talking
group.
about dice.
You know, as it were coming through, because at first we were going to Brentford, and which really annoyed me for some reason, because it's Brentford. The Brentford were giving it the big one, obviously on Twitter. James,
that's
you were, yeah. And obviously, as it unfolded, Spurs have come in, took him from Brentford, and we've actually got a better deal. So, tell us about what you were thinking, mate.
I don't care about the money. I don't care about the PSR. I don't care about all that shit. At the end of the day, he is a one in a million type of player. I believe so. I believe he's going to be world class, and he was us, and he wanted to stay with us, and he's fucking tradition. It's, you know, it means a little bit more to me. It did anyway, and I just wish that we would have did everything to keep him and build a team around him, because I think he would have stayed. Obviously, if we didn't go up next year, then fine, you know, go and do what you're going to do. But it just felt a little bit like he didn't really do anything with us. He played right back for the most season. He played well and he did little goods. He didn't even score a goal for us technically, and you just
That's true.
you just wanted a bit more from him. And it really pissed me off, mate. Really pissed me off. Like I honestly, I would have got rid of any other player on our team and kept Gray. And I mean that. But
yeah.
That's the
What
way it is.
about the?
It's football for you.
Do you
And that's
believe
why I
the
don't
notion that
like,
you were
football nowadays takes all the heart
Yeah,
and emotion
yeah.
out of it. And it's all just business, and it really fucking. That's not what I fell in love with football for, mate. And it does mad when it happens. But yeah, we go on.
When they first came out, that when it was, he's going to Brentford, 40 million quid, and I was like, what? Brentford?
Yeah,
No,
that's
no
what
disrespect
annoyed me
to
as well.
Brentford, but they themselves call themselves just a bus stop, and straight away I was like, why is he going there? You know, Thomas Frank's a great coach, and surely he can aim higher than Brentford, like, because the way I saw it is that you go to Brentford, you have a good season, or maybe 2 good seasons, you develop your game a bit more. But then it's a stepping stone club for me, just as we offer Rafinha. You know, there's no mistake about it. That really, I mean, Evie, how many frying pans did you throw against the wall? Sorry, that was a bit sexist.
Like,
a bit sexist. That I shouldn't say frying pan.
I know, especially
From out the
because
window.
it's my husband that cooks, so I've got
Poor
nothing
James.
to do with
James.
frying pans.
It's even worse. You're getting rid of all of his pans. Well, out of order, Evie.
No, to be honest, I think that's probably.
more.
I think that's probably what upset me the most, is the fact of I was like, why not just stay? There's really not that much difference between staying in the Championship and playing for Brentford in terms of you're going to get game time here. You already know that. And, you know, it just doesn't make sense. You know, like, I think Brentford are in trouble this season because obviously there's going to be no Tony. They were circling the plug hole last year, but luckily there was 3 whipping boys in kind of Luton, Burnley and Sheffield. So I think that Brentford are in trouble this season. I think there's quite a few teams, Everton included, but they're just like a cockroach that just managed to avoid relegation year after year anyway. But I think Brentford are in trouble. So what would be the point in going to another team that's going to be in a relegation battle? Why not be in a promotion race? So the Spurs thing makes a lot more sense. He's in Europe. It, again, is probably another stepping stone because Tottenham aren't the biggest out of the big six clubs. And also, I kind of wish he'd gone to like Dortmund, because I feel the English stars in general do better when they, I get that. But if he was going to go, I'd rather him gone to Dortmund, because then he matures away from the English media, because the English media are like vipers. They're just awful to young talent. And it was like what we were saying earlier on, we put Wonder Kid titles over these players, and then when they don't perform wonderfully every single minute of every single game, it's they're awful, they're crap, oh my god, how disappointing, what a flop, and all of these, and those are the headlines that I'm scared for Archie next season. If he doesn't start well, that the media will just go in on him and just be like, why did they, what were Spurs thinking? No wonder they never win any trophies if they're spending money on 18-year-olds kind of thing. So I did enjoy the memes of like, what a strange time as an 18-year-old to decide you don't want to win any trophies in your career.
Bloody hell. The thing is, they've got to remember that he's 18. He's still developing his game, even though he was great at championship level. He slotted in at right back perfectly for me, to the point where I wanted him at right back every game. But he had Roberts, he had Shackleton when he was fit. But they need to. He's not ready made. That's the thing with like the Premier League fans. They have this expectation and the ceiling of it. You just need to let him get used to the tactics, the team, because he's not going to be 100% with everything. You never know. Come end of the transfer window, he might get loaned back out. You got Jed Spence, for example. You got Ryan Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon in the Championship were brilliant with Fulham, but all of a sudden it's at Spurs, and he's not. He's always injured now, like you say, Evie. But I just thought it's terrible that we had to get rid of him, because apparently the club's take on it is that everybody were expecting Somerville to go, but no bids came in for Somerville. So then we had to sort of like, right, they tested the waters with Archie Gray, right? We have to sell Archie Gray, a rubbish deal. And then I think that they leaked it somehow. The 40 mil got out, Spurs went, right, so that's the price, bang. And then the deal happened. That's where it got hijacked. What do you think, James? Do you think Brentford dropped the ball there, didn't they?
Well, yeah, but I think what pissed me off is that it was like they were happy for him to go anywhere as long as they went somewhere just to get the money in. And it was like, someone's mentioned about the release clause as well. I think Zane's talked about it. Who put that in? Whose idea was it to put that in? Was it Archie's? Because it didn't seem like, from the way he was speaking in all his interviews throughout the season, pretty much every interview he had, it was like, oh, I want to stay here for as long as I can. I want to play in the Premier League with Leeds. Like, that's all that was coming out of his mouth.
And then say that, though,
find out that there's a release clause. Who's done that? Is that the club?
Well, apparently
both parties have to agree with that. So it's
a release.
It's just mad that was there.
It's also a protection for the player, because they don't want to be tied down to a team.
Yeah, I know
for
what
4
it's there
years.
for, mate. But
I'm not. No, I'm just for those
it's
people.
It's supposed to be supported. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, it was Brentford, and I mean, like you say, no disrespect to Brentford, but it seemed like anybody that would pay the money, you can go there, and that's what annoyed me as well, because it was like, we're just getting rid of him like he was nothing. And
we were made to believe that if our finances.
Apparently, he cried when he was told, weren't he? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would.
I think,
but
by the sounds of it, I think his people knew after. I think his people knew after, obviously, the failed playoffs, that this was going to be the case. I actually didn't want to go, but I think the people in and around him, obviously, a lot more aware of the finances, a lot more understanding of how football has to unfortunately work. And I do think he's got a good set of people. And obviously, I don't know whether you've read his kind of goodbye on his social media, but you know, Harry's not going anywhere, which was obviously the media kind of blew it up into this. There's been a massive falling out between the Greys and Leeds United. Things are never going to be the same. You know, Eddie's going to leave on Monday morning, and all of this, and Harry's going to go and go to another youth team and things like that. And none of that's happening. You know, so this has all been agreed mutually, and at the end of the day, he's potentially saved his boyhood club. Yes, he doesn't want to go, but financially, if we need to do it, or it meant getting a points deduction and still having to sell Somerville, Nonto, Melier, we can't get rid of the dead wood that, you know, we went on loan last year because they were terrible, you know, in the last season. So
we're turning bids down for them. Just fucking get rid of them.
No, but they've got to try and make something. And now, because of Archie, we're in a position of strength. So I like to view it like the kind of romantic side of me likes to view it as Archie's saved his boyhood club by almost falling on his sword and going to Spurs. And at the end of the day, he's going to be a multi-millionaire. So he's still getting to play football. Like, he's still in Europe. He gets to live out the dream that he's always had. And even if he stayed at Spurs for 6 years, he'll be 24. We'll be back in the Premier League. We can just get him back on a free.
Yeah, when they go down. Exactly. I like your thinking, Evie. And then obviously Joe Rodon put this on his Instagram saying, you know, there was only one place for me that I wanted to go. And I really admire that, because that's the type of mentality that we need. He turned down Premier League offers to come over. So, I mean, Brentford getting done twice in the same week. Archie snubbing them, and then now Joe Rodon. Ipswich were there. There were an account saying, I think it's Portman Road Blue or whatever it was, saying, Joe Rodon's on his way. What number will he wear? And all this kind of stuff. Boom, he's come straight back. The deal took a little bit longer because he was out in Las Vegas in a training camp, but Joe Rodon coming back.
Training camp in Las Vegas.
I think training camp in Las Vegas. I mean, the first official signing through the door, even though it doesn't feel like a signing, it's a great first signing though, isn't it, James? It was solid for us.
Yeah, it was my player of the year. I thought it was fantastic. I thought most of our clean sheets was down to him. I know Ampadu helped out, but I think his positioning throughout the season, second to none. So I'm glad that we've got him back. Yeah, definitely, and he's ours now as well. Hopefully, he doesn't do that thing where he's really good on loan and then we buy him and he turns into a bag of wank. So let's hope that don't happen. But
yeah, that'd be terrible. The Leeds curse strikes again. Evie, obviously, Rodon's back. They say never fall in love with a lone player. Ben White broke our hearts, but he's back now. Happy to see him back though, once for all.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like his mentality. It's great because we get to see his brother on social media as well, who's given us so much entertainment this year. So I like players that get it, and I like players who can back up that they get it with actual talent as well. And I feel that I don't know, it's like a hand and a glove kind of situation. We were just made for one another. And I think that we seem to have taken in kind of a few Welsh strays last year of players that didn't really know where they fit. Didn't know where they fit, and then they've made a home at Leeds. So I'm happy. I just hope that he can get on a header and score, and not just defend with his head this season. I hope he can, potentially score. I know we don't do it. We don't do the whole scoring from set pieces. But yeah, I think that it would be nice if he did. And I'm also in agreement for Rodon for one of the captaincy roles as well.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think he may not be captain, he might be vice captain. And we'll talk about the previous captain soon, but let's talk about let's cheer his spirits a little bit. Should we do a guess the player, Evie? Yeah, should we do it? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we
let's do it.
go. Here we go. Here we
Come
go.
on then,
So,
you bugger.
if
Do
you're
it.
new here, this segment is called Guess the Player. And what I'll do is I'll put a picture up, and what you have to take in the information, soak up the picture, and try and guess who you think it might be. So here is today's Guess the Player. So who do you think this player is that Gary Neville is trying to tackle in the 2004 Euros? A great ball, by the way. I love that ball. I had it. So you've seen that Gary Neville looking frustrated, as it's not changed one bit. Who do you think it was? Evie. It's an international game. I must tell you, because we all know your
Jar Jar
history with
Binks.
it. Jar Jar Binks seems like an easy guess to me. What about you, James? Who do you think it is? Let's get some guesses in the comments as well, because I've only got one.
I think it's Dean Gaffney's dog Wallard from EastEnders. That's who I think it is.
Have you been looking at my pictures? Because that's a good guess. We've got Rapunzel on steroids from Zane, which is a very, very Zane comment. We've got Count Binface's weird Swedish uncle. Is that Count of Binface? That was Geordie, that wasn't it? No. Well, it is a quick one this week. I don't know. I tried to do a Swedish accent and it just came out as Geordie. Oh, I never said it were a good podcast, people.
Been fierce.
Right, so Count Binface, man. Why I? We got Scooby-Doo from Andy as well. So this is what you saw in the 2004 Euros. Gary Neville is taking on Ronaldo, who was on sabbatical in Portugal. Ronaldo. So if you guessed anything else other than Ronaldo, you are wrong. Once again, I must reiterate, please like and subscribe. I never did say this was a good podcast. I just said it was another Leeds podcast. Right, here we go. So another thing, Evie, we need to get your opinion on. Obviously, the worst kept secret in Leeds United history is the Leeds United Red Bull kit. Now, first and foremost, to me, the initial reaction was, why not blue? Why not, whatever colour? But looking at it there, it doesn't look that bad. What's your opinion on it?
Well, I've bought it today, so
Oh, so you hate it then?
yeah.
Are you going to set it on fire? Is that why you bought it?
No, I don't love it like I loved last season's kit, like the white one especially, and obviously the blue one. I know we never won in it, but I still love it. But it's a logo. I'm not over, like, some people like talking about boycotting it because it's got red, and it's like, we've had red on shirts before, we've worn entirely red shirts before, so get over it, kind of thing. I do agree they could have done it blue and yellow, and I think that would have just been the easier, you're guaranteeing more sales straight away, whereas I think people are going to either reluctantly get it nearer Christmas or even wait until it goes down next summer, kind of thing. So I think for sales, I would have put it blue and yellow. But the fact that it's red, they're putting 60 million quid into the club this season, so I don't really care. Just buy us some good players and all will be forgiven.
I agree. I do have a concept. Before I come at you, James, I do have a concept. Someone on Twitter did this. I think this looks better, personally.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
end of the day, my thoughts on the kit, it doesn't bother me. Like you say, it's just a logo. We've had red kite. We've had 32 red. We've had in the 70s, before our time, we had an all red kit. Yeah, that's what it is to me. James, what about you, mate? Is it just like the same for you?
I don't give a shit, mate. If we go up in it, no one will care, will they? So, and we will go up in it.
Mate.
It's just fucking kit will change next year. Don't just chill out.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Just chill out, boys. Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, that lasted shorter than I imagined. So Yeah, the kit itself, apparently the rumours are that the away kit's yellow with a smiley face badge, and it's got the blue wording Red Bull across the front. I think that'll sell like hotcakes, personally. Are you a fan, Evie, of the old badges, or do you prefer the current badge?
I'm not
You know,
too
as-
fussed. I do like the smiley badge for the simple fact of when you come into, if you're a child, the smiley badge is very easy to draw. So therefore, I think you can relate to it more when you're younger, whereas when you're
You,
trying to draw it when you're older.
you've been watching Square Ball, haven't you?
I have been watching Square Ball.
Yes.
I always
Yeah.
watch Square Ball.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
where the interview. Yeah.
I just think that as well, it's a lot easier, but I like the shield because I think that's because I grew up. That's a very good
It doesn't.
question.
It really doesn't. Sorry, Evie.
No, it's fine. But yeah, I like the rose one. That's probably my favorite.
With the ball
The
and the yeah.
that's
Yeah, I
probably
agree.
my favorite, just because I like the, white roses are my favorite anyway, but obviously being Yorkshire makes it even more kind of important and relevant as well. But yeah, smiley badge, I'm fine with that, and I like little nods to the past. It's why I like the last year's kits and things, nods to the past. So I think it's a good way to get younger fans and older fans kind of on the same page, because sometimes there's a bit of disjointment, because somebody who's a fan from like the 60s, 70s will be like, oh, well, that team is much better than anything we've had ever since then. So they're a little bit disjointed and not as attached to the teams nowadays, whereas the younger generation will be more in love with, players that we've had over the last kind of 5 or 6 years and things like that, and call them legends or whatever kind of thing. So I think it's nice to have something that it's, you can kind of communicate and chat about, and that you have in common, rather than just
agree.
being an old fan and a new fan.
Yeah, I agree that the home shirt for last season I thought was brilliant.
Having a
Just
grey
even
in the team would have helped with the old fans, wouldn't it?
we've got another, mate. Don't worry, we've got another, and we've got his
We've
DNA
copy
on
and
file.
pasted, it's fine.
Exactly, it's like the beginning of Jurassic Park, see him hatch from eggs and stuff. Look, Einar's got a hello, Einar. I hope you're well. He's got a good point. I always buy at least 2 kits every season, but I won't buy this one except, like Evie said, on a sale or something. But it's not the red on the logo, rather the kit's too generic. That is a great point, because I think it lacks creativity, and it is just a template for every other kit. Look at Fulham, you've got Spain, Germany, you know what I mean? Everything's just the same. It's just different badges and 1 or 2 colours. No individuality, which you have with the peacocks, for instance, that you're wearing, Evie. But other than that, I don't know what the third kit's going to be. It's probably going to be a blue one, but we'll move on to some
navy blue and pink. It's navy blue and pink, ain't it?
Oh, like the promotion one. Oh, not that charcoal, that one, yeah. Right.
They
so
put a colour scheme on some. I can't remember where I've seen it, but it's navy blue and pink.
I wonder if
Right,
it's cheaper
so-
as well, in terms of, obviously, if we're thinking finances and stuff in the championship, it's cheaper to use a generic template, surely, than it is to use
well,
kind of custom
production,
made. So I'm just trying to, justify
work
it
for
a tiny
Adidas?
bit. No, I don't.
You do, don't you? You work for Adidas.
I'm just trying to justify it, to think maybe as to
Adidas
why
meatball.
they would make something
The thing is, though,
that is very
look at
generic, because the last
go
2
on.
seasons, like the white kit at least, has had kind of the embossed LUFC, and then obviously the peacock embossed. So, but both of those kits will have been designed when we were in the Premier League, whereas this one will have been designed at the beginning of last season, when we were, going into the championship.
Totally lost my train of fucking thought now. Sorry. Anyway.
I apologise.
Oh yeah. No, it's all right. I'm used to it, Evie. Don't worry. Every time you come on here, you take over. Right. So there's been obviously some links and some departures since. So let's go on to here. Today we've seen the release, well, the loan of, where is it? There, of Mr. Greenwood to Preston. Is this a good move? Obviously, Farker doesn't rate him. He loaned him out to Middlesbrough last season. He's now at Preston. Do you think we'll probably end up selling him? There is a buy clause in his loan agreement, so this we probably won't see him in a Leeds kit again. James, what's your opinion on Greenwood leaving? Is this the last time for us?
Yeah, I think he's never really did it, did he? He had his little moments, like the goal against Bournemouth, a few decent balls in and out, but he never really sort of set the world alight, did he? And yeah,
Which is a shame.
I don't give a shit. Yeah,
Because in
a bit, mate.
Yeah, when he came into the under-21s, he were absolutely on fire with the free kicks.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Stevie?
Yeah, he's just that kind of generation. I don't know quite the right wording for it. Of players that came in over those kind of 2 or 3 years, they just haven't, other than maybe Somerville, they haven't seemed to kind of kick on. You know, you've got Geldhart, you've got Cresswell, you've got Greenwood. You know, they just never seem to have gone anywhere. You know, they've kind of stagnated. They've had loans, they've not had loan. You know, they've been bench warmers. You know, under 21s. They just never have found a home. So I think kind of Greenwood and Cresswell, I'm sure we'll come on to him as well, and Geldart should probably all go either permanently or on loan, so that we can maybe get some money in at the end of the season for them. Because I just don't think they're the high enough quality that we need. And if this year is anything like last year, Farker doesn't trust them anyway. So they're literally just taking up a spot on the bench. They're, you know, Geldhart looked quite lively near the end of the season, so there's a potential, if he shows it in pre-season, for him maybe to be utilised a bit more. But he never stays fit. And that's another thing that's been his problem. You know, like in the season when we stayed up, he then got injured. So after he scores that goal at Ellen Road against Norwich to win the game 2-1, he then is off injured for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then he comes back and gets the assist against Brighton, where Strout gets the header to get the equaliser. But he's just never, like, him and Shackleton have had a very similar season in terms of they get some minutes and then are injured or have an illness or something. So yeah, but I don't think we'll see Greenwood again. I think Fark's right. He's a bit of a luxury player in terms of if you could bring somebody on to take your free kicks. But then is he worth it for, you know, there's been times where you think, you know, is Kamara that useful? When we got nearer the end of the season, I'm not talking midway through the season when he was absolutely amazing and that midfield was incredible. I'm talking near the end of the season when we got free kicks. It was just infuriating, you know, like we could have done with a Greenwood in that situation. So, yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of Kamara, then. Really. Oh, ouch. James, speaking of Kamara, he's been linked with the French team Rennes, who they're like fish and chips, apparently, according to one particular fan. Kamara, apparently, according to saw on Twitter, Jay reported it as well. A source there said that apparently he's already agreed terms in France. Now, I know that Leeds, I know, Popey said, like I'm in with the Leeds lot, Popey said that they're not looking to sell Kamara. Do we keep Kamara for you, or would you cash in? You know, we bought him for 5 million from Rangers. Do we, if they come back with a 7, 8 mil, 9 mil, do we cash in and get someone else for you?
It seems like it might be down to him a little bit. Maybe he thought, I'll play in the Championship for a season and then go up, but obviously we didn't go up. So it might be him thinking, I don't want to play in the Championship again. But maybe we need to replace someone in there that can score goals, that can do the defensive part,
shoot,
but also contribute with goals as well. So maybe that there's thinking in that. 9 million. Oh yeah, he's probably replaceable. So yeah, I like him, and I wouldn't mind if he stayed, but he's definitely replaceable.
What about you, Evie? Would you get shot, or would you keep the continuity?
Yeah, I think continuity. We're going to have a massive turnover in people, even if it's mainly bench people. Shaqs, Cooper, people like that. But Cresswell will go one way or another. Cresswell isn't going to be a Leeds player this season. And then
His
you've
dad's
got
demanded it.
obviously you've got no Ayling. Now there's no Gray. Likelihood no Somerville at some point, potentially no Nonto. So essentially, you're building a team that the only person that's guaranteed his starting place will be Bamford. But but we're in danger of having a complete rebuild, and then we're in the exact same situation where we were last season, where we're having to get in and bed in an entire new team that potentially have never played in the Championship as well. So then, I don't know, I would just keep him for depth. And, at the end of the day, if he didn't want to play in the Championship again, then maybe he should have got his shooting boots on once in a while last season, because
We know we can score.
he has to, like, otherwise don't get in the box.
Do we?
That wound me up. Yeah, do we know? I don't think he's ever scored a professional goal, has he?
Yeah, yes, he scored for Rangers in the Europa League. Yeah, he did, and it was screaming.
Did it come
many?
off his ass or something like that?
No, it was outside the box. It killed into the far post. Maybe the keeper were blind. I don't know. Right, moving on. You mentioned.
Yeah, maybe he gets one goal in his life.
Yeah, you mentioned
now.
Cresswell, James. First, he was in Toulouse last weekend. He's had his medical. Personal terms broke down, but apparently, according to Dave from Popey, the negotiations are back on. So, I mean, 3.8 million is the quoted thing. I mean, he's got 5 years on his contract. Would you just loan him out instead?
I don't know. I don't know with him anymore. I thought he was at the start, before we obviously got Roden, and I thought he was going to play a bit of a part last season because he did quite well when he went on loan. But he's just fell off a cliff, hasn't he? And Fark obviously doesn't rate him or doesn't fancy him. Obviously doesn't like his dad either, so maybe just wants him out of the club as well. So he's not tweeting shit.
And he's got
I
a
don't know,
younger
mate.
brother
Yeah,
as well in the academy.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, that's still going to be tweeting, isn't he? Oh well. Yeah, I think he's on. He's out, mate. I think he's out.
Evie, get
Bye,
shot.
Cresswell.
Yeah, I'd loan him out because I think he has the potential to be more than 3.8 million. Either that or we have to have a chunky sell-on clause. Just because I'm not saying that he's going to be, an ultimate kind of centre-back, but somebody put the other day that 3.8 million isn't bad if you consider we've bought Rodon for 10 million, and we're saying Rodon's had a lot of game time, whereas actually Cresswell has had one season of actually playing football. So 3.8 million for a player who played at Millwall for a season, and then he got injured near the end, so he didn't even play a full season. I just think Jer from The View makes a good point of Farker's not guaranteed to be here in 6 months' time. So if you then sell Cresswell and you've got a manager who potentially would have seen something that he could have utilised, you've got rid of a player for a pittance, really, that could be somebody that you could have, made use out of. And set pieces, again, he'd be, a good set
Did a
piece
great season
person.
at Millwall.
Yeah, 2 goals in his
absolutely,
opening game.
Yeah.
Absolutely rate him down there, don't they?
I think he should have gone back there on loan last year, in all honesty.
Yeah. Another one that's been at the club since he was 7, Jamie Shackleton, has joined Sheffield United. If they can keep him fit, I think he'll be a good little utility player for him. But I think I think he knows what's going to go on at the club. I think he's behind whoever comes in. I think Roberts comes back, but because he'll be up for it. Burnley might be up for it with the right free, because Connor Roberts has dropped down the pecking order. They've signed a few right backs at Burnley before Scott Parker comes in. But yeah, so how do we feel about Shackleton leaving right quick then? Evie, I'll go with you first.
I'm not bothered. I feel happy for him in the fact of he needs to play some actual football. He's 24 now. Like he's 2 years away from his theoretical peak, of where he should be, and he's not actually played solid football ever, kind of thing. He's been bit part for his entire Leeds career. He was bit part at Millwall. So I think Sheffield is probably a good move, especially if they don't do well and end up in League One, because unfortunately that's probably more of the level where he's at, lower Championship. I think his issue this year is he couldn't be a utility player because he was never available. He was never fit, or obviously I know he's not going to have a baby every day, but he was then had a baby. He then was ill and mysterious illnesses. You can't have a backup player who's never available to play when you need the backup. So I think it was the right
Seems to be a
choice
common theme for
for
Leeds
us.
United, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Our
So
players
I
that
think
are always fit.
exactly, and he's obviously been in the club since he was like 9 years old. So, very professional, very loyal. Wish him nothing but the best. But if he turns up and scores against us, then I will be swearing at him this season.
Yeah. What about you, James? Shackleton? Shackly gone.
Shackly gone. It's a good way to put it, Daniel. Yeah, he just needs to play regular football, doesn't he? He's not going to do it at Leeds. He hasn't done it. He does well in bits and parts when he comes on, but I don't give a shit what happens now. He's gone. He's at Sheffield United, and I don't like them.
That's fair. That's fair. Right, this one's going to hurt a little bit. It is El Capitan Liam Super Duper Cooper is apparently Team Talk have an exclusive that he's set to reject the deal. Leeds have offered him. I think he wants a longer deal. Maybe they've offered him like 2 years on reduced wages or something, or a year with reduced. Cooper, there's obviously a reason why he's been picked to be the captain by numerous managers. The players have said, we want him to be a captain. There's definitely a leader there, and I hope one day we get to see him at the club in a coaching role. I'd love to see that. But James, what do you feel about? He's nearly 10 years of service. I think this is his 10th year, but his 9th season, but his 10th year. We got him from Chesterfield all them years ago. How do you feel about Cooper leaving, mate?
I've always liked Cooper. Always liked him, and I felt a bit sorry for him because he come in under Hocker Day and just had a shit ton of managers to work with, and then he finally got Bielsa, but he was probably just a little bit past it, and his body just couldn't hack it anymore. But I'm surprised he even got off the contract anyway, because he's gone pap, and he's just gone a bit pap now, so he's not going to play much for us. Yeah, I agree. Keeping him on in some capacity, coaching, yeah, fair enough, but playing wise, nah. Sorry, Coops.
I just want to bring this comment up from Chad. Sounds like we have got an awful player in Shackleton. Can't wait to have him playing for us in League One next season. Now, I think he's not that bad of a player, right? But
he's not.
If you get him on that pitch, he works his socks off, right? He scored a great goal against Derby in the playoff first leg. He scored two. He scored against Derby when he was pissed up. That's the only notable, when the entire team were pissed and we got the guard of honour at Pride Park and that. But he's not that bad. For us, he's not. He don't fit the system personally. Would you think that's fair?
If you keep him fit and you keep him regularly playing, he'll do a job for you and he won't let you down.
Yeah, he's a really hard worker. Just to make that clear. He's just texting me now saying, "Cheers, mate." Oh yeah, you're right, Shax, mate. Don't worry. Evie.
Just not good enough for us.
Super duper Liam. Yeah, it's just not good enough for us. Super duper Liam Cooper is set to leave, according to Team Talk and rumours. Does this one hurt?
I think it's the right time, because unfortunately,
The old guard.
Yeah, I think it's similar to like Patrick Bamford. He's a lazy person to people, often just blame everything on Cooper. It's like a lazy kind of thing to just,
Scapegoat.
oh, well, yeah, he's a scapegoat for whenever things go wrong. It's just like, oh, well, Cooper was on the pitch. And like, I've done it myself. I'm not trying to say that I haven't done it kind of thing. But I think it's one of those things where it was the right time. He still wants to play football. Good on him. That's incredibly professional. And it's going to be a massive change for him because, you know, he's in his 30s now. You know, he's gone through getting married, having kids, all of that, you know, he's done whilst being at Leeds. So it's going to be a massive change, and he could have just kind of stayed in his comfort blanket of being at Leeds, and fair enough to him for wanting to actually go out and play football. I apologise if you can hear my dog barking right now.
It's all right. I live next to Huddersfield, so it's all right.
We've got multiple.
Let that man out of that cage,
kids
Evie.
here, so
Let him
they're
out of the cage.
winding the dogs up. Yeah, so I just think it's the right time for him to go, and he goes with my blessing. And I hope he comes back at some point and does his badges and everything with Leeds. But as a player, he's done, and at least we can't scapegoat him again. You know, let that fall to somebody else now.
I do think he'll come back to the club. Just like I'm sure I've seen that Stuart Dallas, because he's retired now. I'm sure he's been offered a coaching role. I heard somewhere that he went to a school and did like a coaching session there because he's got no one to assess him at this time for his badges. He's gone to a PE to an high school and done PE for them, and set up stuff like that. And
ask some kids to assess him.
Yeah, some 10-year-old that. You're a Dardester. You're.
Give me my badge.
Sit down now. Get down. Anyway, I digress. So some quick ones then. Llorente to Real Betis to follow Mark Roca. We've seen Mark Roca leave. Apparently, they offered about 4 million. We're holding out for a bit more. Rumour has it that Leeds are difficult to deal with now, which is a good thing for us. I don't think we're asked about Llorente, are we?
Probably stuck with him.
Nah. Yeah, old giraffe legs. Firpo is apparently there's a slim. He's been selected for the Olympics for the Dominican Republic since he's changed allegiances. According to, I think it was Graham Smith, let's say there's a slim chance that he'll end up going, because if he does go, he'll miss the bulk of pre-season. Now, this is an interesting one because Firpo is now going into the last year of his contract, so soon he'll be able to sign, a pre-contract agreement in January with other clubs. My phone needs to piss off. Sorry, it keeps buzzing. So what do we do here? Do we give him a new deal, or should we sell him this summer?
Who are you talking to?
I don't want to sell him yet because
Give him a new deal.
Yeah, I don't even know whether I'd give him a new deal. I kind of think that if we let him run down his contract, we've probably got almost our money's worth out of him in the last 2 seasons, because for the first 2 seasons, let's face it, he was terrible. And I don't want to give a crock pot, like this season has been the longest that he hasn't been injured for the second half of the season. So, he's been injury prone is like at least the last 5 years. I think this season has been the most consecutive football games he's played in something like 4 or 5 seasons. So do we want to risk, and it'd have to be on a wage reduction as well, so it might even, even if we got promoted, it wouldn't be on the same terms that he currently has, I don't think, with, the 49ers actually know how to do business. So I think unless it's decent terms, I don't think he signs another contract either. Because if we do get promoted, he probably knows that he'd get cooked, because he was cooked for 2 years in the Premier League, and he's 3 years older now. So
Firpo on toast. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Keep him for this season, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind actually buying another left back regardless. Just let him see down his contract, get a decent left back in. We've got Byram who can cover if needed as well. Let's just not sell him and have to buy 2 left backs, because we're never going to buy 2 left backs. We're going to buy one that isn't going to be ready. It doesn't know Fark's system. Firpo's enjoying playing under Fark. Let's just keep it like that.
It's done some travelling. It's a long way to go for the Dominican Republic, he's been playing World Cup qualification games all the way over there. Like it's different. I think it's Jamaica he played one. But James, what do you think about what's your thing on your opinion on the Firpo situation? Do you get rid or do you offer him slightly improved terms?
Nah, I think you just let his contract run out, don't you? Because when we go up this year, because we're going to go up this year, he ain't going to be our left back in the Premier League. Like he can barely do it in this league. To be fair, he's good going forward, but still defending is a bit shaky. So yeah, I think we just let him run out his contract. He can do a job for us in this Championship promotion. But yeah, he'll be gone next year.
I personally, I'd offer him another deal, maybe slightly improved terms. If he rejects that, then just plan to lose him next summer, whatever the case. And to be fair to him, he's stuck around. He hasn't jumped ship like the rest of them. Obviously, we've got Aronson coming back. We have Christensen, who's nobody wants to buy.
Because he's shit.
He is the flaccid Viking. Honestly, he's. You never know. You never know. Him and Aronson might actually be okay. Millier, there's rumours that. Yeah, I think Aronson might be okay. I got cooked in the group chat earlier saying Aronson will prove them all wrong. I said it sarcastically, but I still took shots. So Millier to Marseille, apparently he's open to the move. Yes or no, Evie? Do you get rid of Millier?
I think 12 million and above, and I'm saying goodbye, good luck, God bless.
Au revoir.
Kind of
Come on, it
yeah.
were there for you. It were there for you, Evie. Au revoir. Come on.
I know, but then I'd have taken that line from
What's
you.
the Italian version?
I would still want a.
Arrivederci. Yeah, that's true. Either or.
Buonanotte.
Buonanotte. Ti presento.
Meslier, like he's probably been my biggest letdown. Not letdown because I still think he's going to turn into a good keeper at some point. Because I still think there's
he's still
very
young.
good points about him. He's still young, yeah. Maybe just a change of scenery for him might bring that out of him because it's but I don't. It's free. What is it? 3.8 million. That's a bit. No, not having that.
No, that was for Cresswell. That was. Yeah, I think you're talking.
How much was it for Meslier?
Meslier, we got him for 5. They want 20 plus, yeah, which is, I still see him playing in the French national team, and he's only like 23, 24 or something. He's been our number one for 4 years. Best keeper in the championship.
He just got out of bed as well.
This comment from Andy: Meslier is the best keeper in the championship. You should watch us a few episodes ago, mate. James were absolutely dragging Meslier over the coals. Right, that's. Oh wait, Rutter.
He could be though. He could be, but
it could be, yeah. But that's the way football's going now. It's more with the feet and being a hybrid role of a keeper being a defender. Pushing up and moving around in the back foot. You know what I mean? It's all. I blame Pep Guardiola. You bastard. Anyway, with Brighton they've sort of swanned in or seagulled in and inquired about 3 of our fucking players, and I don't think so. How dare you? We championship manager fucking algorithm and shit. No, go away. We've rejected a 30 million bid for Jorginho Rutter. If they come back with a 35 million, 40 million, do we reject it either?
Yeah.
Simple as that. What about you, James?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't sell.
Sold Gray.
Even more simple.
You've got to keep Rutter.
Yeah.
You have to.
Just no words, just eye contact. Like Blink.
Where does our creativity come from? If you get rid of Somerville, which the likelihood is we will still get rid of him, not because we want to, but because of the fact that he was the Championship Player of the Year. He was phenomenal. So you can't really say no to that. And if you've got teams who are playing in Europe coming in for you and saying you're going to get game time, you're going to go. And we'll be able to clearly offer you far better, wage packet and everything. You're going to go. But if you get rid of those 2 players, we have zero creativity in that team.
That's true. And hopefully we do bring some players in that do offer that because Aronson is the same weight as a fucking wet potato that's being hollowed out. You know what I mean? It genuinely. I think it's just too weak for the championship because it is a physical league. Right, so that's pretty much everything we've talked about for news-wise. I know I probably haven't got all of it in, but now we're going to a last segment. Eva, you're nearly there. Don't worry. You've survived another episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into top knob. So let's get into this week's top knob. Best jingle in the game. Right, James, you have a little think about your top knob, mate. As they say in ancient Rome, whatus is your toppest nobbus, Evie?
Can I have two, but they're together? They work together.
No.
That was very posh. No, how dare you? No. Go on, Evie.
Oh, I'm doing it anyway. Victor Orta.
You just do what you want. Your podcast.
Victor Orta and Radrazani, because they're the real reason why we have to sell Archie Gray.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Knobheads, yeah, I agree. Go on then, James.
I'm just going to pick Prague for actually selling him.
Element of surprise.
Yes. So. Actually said Parag is the magical word that deploys that. Well done. Element of surprise. Parag, do you not like Parag, James? Not anymore? Well, either way. My top knob.
I don't mind him. He's just my top knob for this week. For Archie Gray. I'm breaking my heart.
That's fair. I'm going to go with the Brentford fans. So I'll go with. I will. You said that without moving your lips. I will go with Evie's suggestion, Radrazani and Victor Orta, because they just put everything on the credit card, didn't they? So you two dickheads, if you are watching, and I know you are this week's top knobs. Top knob. Right, so that concludes episode 4. I just checked, it is episode 4 of the Euro24 thing. I know we spoke mostly about Leeds, but Euro24 is not as good as Leeds, is it? So please, I'd like to thank Evie for coming on. Always a pleasure for having you on, Evie. How did you find that one? Okay.
Always a delight coming on here. It's always wild, never quite the same afterwards. Feel mentally heavier afterwards.
Disturbed.
But yeah, definitely.
Also, that reminds me, I do nothing after this. I was going to say therapy, but that's what I need apparently. Yeah. Is your channel out? Is your channel out yet, Evie?
Almost.
Every episode, a little bit more. It comes out.
I've just bought a brand new laptop.
Yeah.
I've just bought a brand new laptop to do it.
There we go. James needs to do that. Right. Yeah. So thanks very much, everyone. We've had over 250 people watch tonight. So thank you. If you are new, please do like and subscribe. It means we can be more stupid and offer more chaos to the YouTube Leeds content world. And hopefully England do progress. The chances are slim, I think, but you never know. And hopefully Leeds get more players through the door next week. Do you think that'll happen, Evie?
Yeah, I think we will, especially if we get Cresswell gone. Obviously, Shaxter's gone. Regardless of whether they were first teamers, they were bench options, and now we don't have them on the bench. So we do need to replace them, even if it is with fellow bench warmers.
Bench warmers, exactly. Right, James, thank you as always, mate, for being yourself and not punching me through the screen. Thanks everyone for watching. Please do like, subscribe, set that notification bell going so you know when we are, and follow us on all the socials. So we will see you next week. Thanks very much.